Hey there, guys. So, I noticed a lot of you getting back interested in Llama.cpp again. And the truth is, they keep changing stuff up. So, I thought, why not? Let's go back and let's rebuild it again. Let's go through it again, get all of the right stuff. And to tell you the truth, I've gotten better at making this stuff. It's so easy to get through this, and it's really fulfilling. Llama.cpp is kind of fun. So we're going to go through a real easy build. It takes about 30-40 minutes to get through the actual building once you hit enter and it starts to do everything. So it takes a while to crunch through it, but fun project. So we're going to get through there. This is the current day definitive way to build your Llama.cpp. Okay, but before we do that, please do like and subscribe to the channel, share it. Go find that weird kid at school that no one talks to and just walk up and just be like, hey, are you into AI? And then tell them about Get Going Fast, and you're building bridges, right? So anyway, I do appreciate you guys. And what a cool time this is. I want to let you know we have become monetized with YouTube. So that is exciting times. You guys have been here since the beginning, and I appreciate it, man. We're growing, and the more people in the community, the better. It means the more software, the cooler stuff, and I'm really looking forward to that. So thank you again for being part in that as well. So we're gonna get on with the getting on here and towards Llama.cpp. Okay, so per our usual agreement, we are going to pop on over to the internet, and what we're going to do is we're going to be looking for this page. Okay, this Llama.cpp. Notice it's from Gurganov. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go to our browser and type Llama.cpp. I'm not going to put the dot because it might think it's a web page, and it's going to bring it up. It's the very first one here, this GitHub one from Gurganov. So this guy is awesome. He's also the one that makes Focus, the very cool image app. If you haven't used that, it's a really excellent way to get into image generation with low resource. Real fast model. So anyways, it's going to bring us over to this page. Now we're going to end up git cloning this repository, but not at the beginning, okay? So again, sometimes we get in here, we don't know what we're doing. We're thinking, let's just grab everything. And I'm saying, let's just not, okay? You don't want to do it unless the instructions tell you. So you could read through this. Basically, this is a command line chat bot sort of thing. You can load models into it and communicate with them through this. Now, is this necessary if you want to just get into chatting bots? Do you need to use llamas.cpp? Well, the answer is going to be no on that. In fact, there's other better solutions like COBOLD.cpp. If you haven't used COBOLD.cpp, you should. It's very simple. It's very close to the command line. Runs very fast. It's what I use for almost all of my chat botting. Although I do a lot of chat botting in Discord nowadays, that we have learned to make bots. And so if you're interested in learning how to make bots for Discord, hang around because we're going to do that too here soon. But anyway, the nice thing about llama.cpp is you can use it on a lot of different projects. So it works well with your Python programming. If you want to get stuff on a Android or something like that, it's really good. So it's a very good back end if you're making your own front ends, okay? And otherwise, its usage as just a bot sort of thing is more kind of hobbyist sort of thing. Like I use it every once in a while just because it gives me a flashback to being a kid and doing everything on the command line. But really, is it practical for everyday use on the command line? Not really. But it's very good, okay? And most stuff's written off of it. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down here, okay, and we're going to find usage, and you're going to notice there's several different methods to get this going. We're going to focus on method 1, which is cloning the repository and building it locally, and we're going to do that because that's the kind of stuff we do on this page. That's fun. So here you go. If you're using Mac or Linux, you can install it via brew, so you can actually just do like a pip install or a brew, llama.cpp. They've got a Docker image. We haven't talked much about Docker. It's not exactly something that I use. but it's like it's all preset stuff for you. The code's all preset. And then this last one, I do want to highlight here. It says download pre-built binaries from releases. I'm going to right click on this and go open a new tab. This is not a bad way to go. So if you're having a hard time getting this built, okay, you're having issues, come over here and just grab a pre-built thing. You see here, grab your CUDA 11.7. Okay, if you've been working at all with me, we do almost everything in 11.8. But we don't really go into 12 because that's for multiple GPUs. That's for big GPUs that you're not going to have, okay? So, again, we typically think like, oh, let's get the newest and biggest. I'm going to grab CUDA 12.8, 4, blah, blah, blah. To be honest, again, I mean, I'm always honest with you, but to be honest about this, I have people come to me and ask me for troubleshooting. They're like, I've got 12.8, and I go, get rid of it. Go get 11.8, okay? Because you don't need it. But anyway, if you're having problems building it, just come here and get a pre-release, okay? Just download it, unzip it, and you're ready to go, okay? So we like to go ahead and do the building because one, it's just a task that we enjoy. I mean, you guys get to learn how the programming works. You get a little bit more hands-on, and then honestly, then you can add stuff in. And there are a few small things that are there that are not in the other. But again, if you just want to get going with it, bam, grab a pre-release. Okay, so we're going to see basically how it shows you all this use conversation mode. We'll go over this later. What we're going to do is we're just going to click on this one, this how to build. Okay, so I'm going to right click on it and go open a new tab, and it's going to bring us over to this site, build Llama.cpp. Okay, now these are our basic instructions we're going to follow at the beginning, but the temptation is to just run through this and say, oh, well, let's do what this says here. But this is for a basic build without your CUDA support. Now, I'm assuming that you're using NVIDIA, okay, because most of my videos are for people that are using NVIDIA stuff. So if you did this, you would build it, but you wouldn't be building it with the fast support, okay? If you have AMD or something like that, you can use this, or if you don't have anything, build it. Even Blast build is good. You can look those up. But what we're going to do is we're going to pop on down to CUDA, okay? And we're going to use one or two of these methods, the Make or the CMake. I'll show you a little bit about both of them. But you just want to make sure that you're paying attention and you're getting down to the CUDA build here, okay? So now I'm going to scroll back up here, trying not to make you sick with all the back and forth. And what we're going to do is we're going to get this ready. So we're going to go ahead and git clone this. We're going to just highlight that, and then we copy it, okay? Bam, like that. And make sure that the screen is all here so that you're not missing anything. There we go. Let me stretch that out for you. Oh, there we go. So much better. Okay, so now what we're going to do, though, is we're going to pop on over to our command prompt, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and make a directory to work with. Let's get my ugly face out of here. Let's put me over here. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and make directory, and I'm just going to call this temp L, okay? Now mkdir is the command for making a directory. So now if I type cd temp L, okay, it's going to change directory cd into the temp L. You can see I'm there now. And if I type dir, is blank, okay? Yo. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just hit Control V, and I'm going to git clone this repository. So what we mean by git cloning is that we go back over here. Remember all this stuff that we said we're not grabbing at the beginning? Okay, we're going to grab it, okay? But here's the thing, is it's not built yet. So it's all the files. So essentially it's like has all the components. It's like IKEA, okay? It's giving you all the pieces, but you can't just run it as is. It has to take the pieces, and we're going to go through a process which puts it together into the full application, okay? A lot of AI stuff is already pre-built, okay, or just needs files. not llama.cpp, CPP, yeah. We have to build it ourselves. Okay, so we're going to git clone this. If you don't have git clone, what you have to do is you've got to go and type in git download. All right, and then you'll click this and you'll go through here, grab your Windows version, grab your 64-bit, and it'll ask you to download. Now you should watch my video on it because there are a couple small settings that are important for you to have. Okay, but anyway, getting past that, let us move on towards bigger and better things. So we are going to go here. We're going to type git is the name of the program after it's installed. Clone is what we're telling it to do. We're saying we're calling the application git. We're saying what do we want it to do? We want you to clone. And what do we want you to clone? We want you to clone this directory, which means it's going to create a directory called Llama.cpp. Whenever you git clone something, the last part of it is always the folder it creates. So see, it says cloning into Llama.cpp. It's bringing down all this stuff. Now if we type dir, you'll see we have a directory called Llama.cpp. So what we can do is go cd.llama.cpp. CPP, and you hit it, and now you can tell that we are in the directory. So let's go back over to our browser, and you'll see that's exactly what it had us do. So now it's pretty straightforward about getting this built, okay? We're going to scroll down here to our CUDA stuff, and we're going to use one of these make methods. Okay, whoops, okay. And so without going too deep into this, basically the difference is make, when you're building these applications, there's a file called a make file. And that make file has the instructions on how to build it. So it's like, again, like you're at IKEA and you're pulling out the big, the pamphlet, and you're going and looking at all the details. So that's essentially what it does. The CMake kind of builds its own and uses it. Now, that's a real simplified. You can go talk to ChatGPT about it if you want and find out more. The main thing you need to know is that make typically is used in kind of Linux, Unix sort of environments. Okay, really what we want is CMake. Okay, so that's going to work better for what we're doing on Windows, but that does require that we install it. So we're going to go over to another tab and type CMake download, and it's going to bring up this bad mamma jamma. So we're going to click on it like this, okay? It's going to pop up, okay? And what we want to do is we want to find the installer. Okay, so let's go ahead and click it. It's going to download. I don't think you're going to see it on my screen, on the screen there, but I'm going to open this up so that you can see it. Give me just one moment. Okay, and there you go. Okay, so it's going to bring this up. Now it's sitting here computing space requirements. Okay, so I'm actually not going to complete this whole thing, but we will go through it a little bit because I've already got installed. But you're going to click next. You're going to click I accept the terms. Click next. Okay, and this is very important. Okay, add CMake to the path environment variable. Incredibly important, okay, because that way you can actually use it. So how the path environment works is that, like, let's say we install CMake and we just want to use it in anywhere we want. We're like, hey, CMake this app. Windows looks and goes, well, I don't know what CMake is. Like, what is CMake? So it goes and says, should I know it? So it goes over to a list. Think of like a dictionary, right? And it's got a list of apps. Do edit, copy, paste, whatever, okay? And locations of where those apps are. And it goes there and it says, is CMake here? And it goes, oh, here's CMake. Oh, I do know CMake. What am I supposed to do with it? It goes over here and goes, oh, I'm supposed to run this program that's located here. Oh, okay, I can do that. Now, if it's not in that dictionary, you type CMake or type whatever, Git, you type Conda, all these apps, and it goes through the list and goes, well, I don't know what that is. Yeah. and then it throws an error. So that's what's called our path environmental variables. We're setting variables for the entire environment, so no matter where you are, whether you type git, you type conda, you type CMake, it's going to know where it's at. So when we're doing this, it's very important that you click add CMake to the path environment variable. You can click next. Now it's got it here on your C drive. I recommend you keep it there. It's best to keep this stuff close to your base drive, like base meaning like if you've got a C drive and a D drive, the closer to the C drive, the better. You don't really want it under C, documents and users, Fred's computer / local apps. I mean, it gets confusing and it can cause problems. You just want it a real click. So you click next, and then it's going to go ahead and install. Now, I'm not going to install because I've already installed it, okay? So I'm going to hit cancel. You're going to hit install, okay? And it's going to finish, and you just click boom. Okay, done. Now, if we go back to our browser, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to run these apps, these lines, but we're going to do them one at a time, okay? So we're just going to be in our directory. Okay. The first one is going to actually create our make file, and then the next one's going to build it. So the first one sets it up. It's like again, you get your box and your IKEA stuff, and the first one sets it out. Says, okay, I'm going to put all these boards here. I'm going to put the screws here. I'm going to get it all set up. Okay. The second one down here is going to be like, okay, let's actually build it. So we're going to grab this. We're going to pop on over to the command prompt. I'm going to hit Control V. So again, CMake is the name of the program. -B is we're going to build, and it tells us we're going to build, and then we're giving it parameters saying that we actually are wanting our CUDA and everything in there. So we're going to go ahead and click Enter. Okay, and now it says it's building. Now notice it said building 2019. You need to make sure that you have the VB Tools 2019 installed. If you get an error that says you don't have your Visual Basic Tools, you need to do this. You need to go to my blog. It's cognibuild.ai/blog. Okay? It's going to bring you up to here, and then you need to look for the thing that says Visual Basic. So click on page 2 here. Installing Visual Studio. Okay. So you're going to click this, and then you're going to come in here and you're going to grab this, and then you would just copy this and paste it into your command prompt. If you don't know how to do this, you need to watch my video on setting up Visual Studio 2019. Okay, it's in the description, it's in the comments on how to do it, or the video description. But this is massively important. This will not work without this, and a lot of AI stuff won't. So that's how you get that done. But let's click back over to, oh shit, I didn't show you the page, dang it. Okay, sorry. You click on over to here to cognibuild.ai, okay, I guess, and it'll bring you to here. Whoops, actually you want to click on the blog, and you're going to look for the one that says Visual Studio. So it says installing Visual Studio 2019. Click it, and then you're going to highlight this, okay, copy it, and then you're going to paste it into the command prompt. All right? And like I said, if you don't know how to do it, you need to just watch the video on how to do it, okay? I have a video. You can find it. It's actually here in the video descriptions. You can find that video. Apps will not work if you don't have this installed correctly. So let's go ahead, go back here, and let's see what's happening to our install. Okay, so look at there. It went ahead and did it, and it went fast. Build files have been written. Okay, so it built it's got all of everything set up. So let's head back to our browser, get our next directions. Now that we've got it all set up, we're going to actually make it. So we're going to copy this, and we're going to go back. Oops, we're going to go back to our command prompt. And we're going to paste that bad boy in. And again, we're calling CMake's the program. We're just getting at the parameters, say we want to build something. And what are we going to build? We're going to build the file that we just built that's called build. Okay? And we're just going to hit enter. Now it's going to go through there. And this is going to take a little bit of time. Okay? This isn't a small process. This could take you 15 minutes or more, because it's taking hundreds of files and it's building stuff. Okay, so you'll sit here and wait while this builds. And so I guess that's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and well, let's clear this up. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. I'm trying to get this in for you here. Okay, there we go. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. We'll be back when it's done, and we'll get a model so that we can use it, and then we will just go through some real basic commands on chatting this thing up and getting some responses from it. So hang in there and we will return, I promise. Okay, and that finally ended. Guys, that took over 30 minutes. That was a long process. So you could be in it, for a while. So that took a long time. So all I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to hit CLS, which means to clear the screen. Then I'm going to hit DIR so we can see the directory. Okay, so this is everything that it did. We've got another video on how to convert your Hugging Face to GGUF, but to be honest, we can download GGUFs. Pretty much when you're working with me, almost everything I'm going to be doing is in this GGUF format. It's just so much easier to do. But we need to get over to learning how to use it. And I believe what we're going to do is we're going to type cd build. Okay, so that's the directory. If you notice, it created a directory called build. So that's typically the directory when you're running these things that it puts the stuff it made into. So let's type dir. Okay, now I think it's going to be under this one. It's either going to be under bin or src. So actually, let's try bin, cd bin. Now I'm going to type dir. I'm going to put a /p. And what that's going to do is it's going to pause if it gets too far. Okay, so it didn't. It only had one. Basically, if there was like a million files, it would go one screen and then pause. And then it would go another screen and pause. That's what that /p does. I'm going to type change directory, cd release. I'm going to do the same thing, directory.p. Here we go. All right, notice how it did a page that goes press any key to continue. Okay, this is what we're going to be wanting to use, is this Llama.cli.exe. Now, this is a little bit frustrating because it means every time that you want to use this, you've got to drill all the way down into here. Now, I believe that we can just make a copy of that and put it in a closer file, but since we're here, we're just going to use it here. I'll let you guys figure that out later. But we're going to hit press any key to continue. Okay, and get done. So we're going to work on building a command to run this, but first what we need to do is we need to get something to run. So let's go back over to the browser. Okay, let's see if you can see this. Hold on. Where did that go? Oh, silly us. Okay, so we go back to our original page. This is where our repository was. And you can scroll down here and it shows the different typical fine-tunes of the base models below are supported. So essentially, like this, take Llama, right? So Facebook, Meta comes out with the Llama model. And it works a particular way. That's called your base. Then you get what are called checkpoints. So someone comes and they says, well, I'm going to take the base and I'm going to make a different version of it. Okay, I'm going to uncensor it, or I'm going to make it focus on a certain place, and they create a checkpoint. So those are typically what we want to play with because they're actually written for a particular purpose or more fun to play with. So we want to go over here to huggingface.co. And this, of course, is our repository of models and data sets, so we can get some good stuff. If you're not registered, you need to register. Okay, don't worry about, I know sometimes you don't want to register for every site. Register for Hugging Face. You're not going to be doing anything with AI and open source that is not going to require Hugging Face. You always need it. So go ahead and log into that. Then let's go ahead and look for a Llama 3 model. So let's type Llama 3. Well, they got 3.3 now. Does it say that we can use 3.3? So it says Llama 3. We could just grab anything. Let's just type Llama 3 just for the sake of it. Now this is 70 billion. You're probably not going to be able to use that. I can't use that. let's say see all models. So you can scroll through here to try to find stuff. Here we go. Here's Alexi uncensored. Let's do this one here. Okay, and we want to typically find ones that's GGUF. Let's click this and see what version this is. Okay, so these are safe tensors. You can download this whole thing, but to do a safe tensor, you got to download the whole file. We're not going to do that. We want to deal with GGUFs. They're just single files. You know, let's try this. Let's do a fun one. Let's do the Godzilla, or what is it one? It's called. Oh, you know what we'll do? Let's do Lunaris. Lunaris is a good one. Let's go ahead and grab this, and we're going to grab this. So it's a Llama 3 based, you'll see. Lunaris one, it's in a GGUF format. So let's go ahead and click that. Okay, and then we're going to click on Files and Versions. Now you're going to see all these quants. Okay, so basically you get the full quant down here. So it's the base. Then what they do is they cut off decimal points to make it a little bit easier to run on your machine. So it's like if you had the number 4.123456789, that's a very precise number, right? And it could go on and on. But let's say we want to keep the same number but make it a little bit smaller so it doesn't take as much to save it. So let's say we cut off the 6789. So we still got 4.12345, which is still essentially the same number. It's just not as precise as if it had the 6789. So every time they quant this, it's like they're just kind of cutting off more and more and more, and it's essentially staying the same. But what it does is it makes you, with lower machines, able to run bigger models. Okay, so if you're trying to run, like, say, an 8 billion parameter like this one, and it's not working, try to go for a lower quant. So what you would do is over here, you just click on the download, and then it really doesn't matter where you download it to. Okay, just download it to wherever you want to typically store your stuff, because what we're going to do is we're going to get the directory of where it belongs. Okay, so let's assume you've grabbed one of these, you've downloaded it, it's saved. Okay, next what we want to do is we want to go back over to this page, and we want to find out our instructions on how to use it. So it says here basic usage. So here's a basic one. So Llama.cli, if you remember, that was the name of the file that we had over here. Let's go dir. I'm going to type ll star. That's going to give me a directory of everything that begins with ll. Okay, and there we can well, it's all of them. So there it is, Llama.cli. Okay, that's the file we're going to use. And then this -m means the model. So we're going to end up putting the location of our model here. And then we're going to give it something to say. So let's copy this. Let's pop back over to command prompt. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to type CLS to clear my screen just to make it more visually clear. I'm going to press, whoops. Okay, so notice it didn't know what we're doing. I'm going to copy this. What happened is I accidentally copied a space. So I'm going to go back to my browser. I'm going to recopy this. I see. We hit the copy, but it copied everything in there. So I'm going to copy it from right to left to make sure that we don't get an extra space. Then I'm going to go to my command prompt. Okay. Get rid of that. Okay, now let's clear the screen again. I'm going to hit Control. Dang it. It didn't copy it right. Hold on. Let me get it copied properly. Okay, there we go. Good Lord. Okay, let's move this out of the way. I'm not sure why you're not seeing. Okay, so now what we're going to do, this is where the location of our model will be. So we're going to erase this, but before we can put something in there, we have to get the actual directory. So we're going to do this real quick. All right, so we're going to go find our directory over here. Now notice I'm going to grab this Lunaris. I'm just going to right click on it, and in it it's going to say copy as path. see if I go to desktop here, you can see I right click, it says copy as path. Okay, now I'm going to pop back over to my to my command prompt. Okay, I've deleted that. I'm going to press Control V, and it's going to put that in there. Now I'm going to go ahead, and I don't know if it's really necessary, but I'm going to get rid of those parentheses just in case. So now we're calling the program, and we're saying this is where our model is, and we're going to send it in the question. What is and it's going to finish it out. It says, I believe the meaning of life is, and it's going to finish it out for us. So it loads. I believe the meaning of life is to find your purpose and to use your unique gifts to make a positive impact in the world. Okay, so there you go. Okay, and it keeps talking. We gave it a bunch of context to use. Okay, so I'm going to hit Control C. All right, so that is our basic usage. Now we want to be able to get into a chat with the thing. Okay, so now what we want to do, though, is we want to have more of a conversation with it. So I'm going to press the up arrow to get back to where we were, and I'm going to delete this stuff. And what we're going to do is we're going to go back over to our browser, and you can see here it says conversation mode. So here's Llama-CLI, your model GIF. So I'm going to grab the -P, you are the helpful assistant, and then the key part is this -C and V. So let's grab that and copy it. Let's head back over to our command prompt, and let's paste that in there. Now what should happen, we primed it, you're a helpful assistant. Let's say let's add to it, who talks like a Pirate Valley girl. Okay, and then we're going to go to C and V. Now it's going to load up our model, and now now we're actually in a conversation setting. So I could say, hey there, what's good? Like totally fine. Thanks for asking. Just been hanging with me crew. Swabbing decks and stuff. You know, the usual pirate-like vibes. So it goes on. We found a booty of like super comfy pillows the other day. Like totally fresh. Okay, so you see we set it all up. Now, again, what's really good about this is you can throw it into your program. So you can actually get it, put it into your program if you want to create stuff. And you can keep talking, say, Winks, tell me more about your booty. Giggles, oh my gosh, you're such a charmer. All right, if you insist. Okay, so there you have it. What we successfully did was we went ahead and downloaded this thing. We git cloned the repo. Okay, we created it. It took a long time to create it, but we had to download CMake, but then we created it. Okay, we went ahead, downloaded a model, and then we ran a few commands, okay, off of the whatever, and then we basically had a conversation. We set her up. She's a Pirate Valley girl, and she's going to talk with us like that. Okay, now I'm going to hit Control C to exit out of this. Last thing I want to show you is we're going to type llama.cli, and then we're going to hit --help. I think this is, yeah, okay. Notice this is going to bring up a huge line of stuff. You can go through here and add these parameters. You'll see the dashes, those are parameters. It's the same thing like when we typed --C and V. You'll see that in here. So you can go through here and add all sorts of stuff to like make it go faster. One of the things I think that we needed to do was NGL would actually have made this go faster because it actually sets your GPU layers. So look into that and set that up. Like I think mine has 24 because I've got 24 gigabytes VRAM. Let's see what happens if I type NGL, type 23. Let's see if it makes it go a little bit faster. But the bottom line is you can use that help thing there so that it works better and works, you know, you can really get it to go the way you want it. So I'm going to say, ahoy! Oh my gosh, like, Art, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, matey. So it sped it up a little bit. But the bottom line is play with the parameters, okay? And you will be able to get something very successful with this. And it's quite, I think it's satisfying. I like playing on the command line. But again, if you're just looking to talk with the chatbot, don't use this. Go grab Cobalt.cpp. Cobalt.cpp is your best friend, okay? It's so easy. You got Facebook. So easy to use. Just type in Cobalt.cpp. It's going to bring you up here to this Lost Ruins. Just click on this. Go down here and download the latest Cobalt.cpp. It's one file, okay? You're just going to go down here, grab this one, Cobalt.cpp. .exe. Don't worry about the CUDA 12. It really doesn't make a difference. And you'll do the same thing. You'll download a model from Hugging Face, load it up, and it's way easier to use than Llama.cpp. But Llama.cpp is really good for your programming and getting stuff on the back end, especially if you're wanting to build something to give other people. Okay. But again, if you want chatbot, just go grab Cobalt.cpp. Greatest chatbot program there is. In my opinion, bar none. I really like Llama is really good too. Cobalt.cpp is the easiest and it's fast. So there you have it. We're going to end it there. I appreciate your time, yo. So I'll catch up with you the next time. And as usual, until then, you stay good and yo.